Good morning, good evening. Welcome to the Property Premier League, the weekly podcast where property meets Premier League football. I'm your host, Chris Mervyn, and joining me are my co-hosts, Steve Green and Jamie Asland. Each week, we'll dive into the world of property and football from the unique perspective of professionals who live and breathe both. So, if you're passionate about property, Premier League football, or both, you're in the right place. Get ready for your weekly dose of all things property and football with the Property Premier League. Let's kick off. Hi, guys. How are you?
Oh, better than I was. I was full of cold again. Yay!
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 Go off for a
The
week.
cold.
Go off for a week. Had a lovely week in Cornwall, didn't you? And with the family,
Yeah.
and then come back and you're full of code, and you're
The
back.
trouble is, you put 14 people in a house. There's going to be germs in there. 100%. So I blame the kids. but yeah, I'm back.
Yeah, I think kids, they're just, especially if they're a certain age, they're just walking.
Just walking germ-infested humans.
Yeah. Send them into the war zone, quick.
I keep telling my two tenants for 20 years. You're just tenants that live in my house. You know,
20 years? What are you talking about, mate? 35.
Oh, don't.
35
honestly,
years.
My eldest, I don't think she's ever going to leave home. You know, next week is half term, isn't it? So the youngest, who's 12, is going to some bounce, clip and climb thing. And I was like, Ava will want to go. Like, she's nearly 16. And you know the reason she want to go? She wants to go because she doesn't want to be in the house on her own. I was like, she will go. Yeah, I'll go. I don't want to be in the house on my own. It's like, Jesus Christ. She's going to be here at 40.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, we were like the other day. We were like obviously looking at maybe moving and stuff like that, and it was like, why don't you just wait a few years, and then we'd be downsizing into like a 2-bed apartment by the sea, and we can live the life and go out for meals and all these other things. And you like get your life back, and they're like, it's never going to happen for like you're talking like 80 when I'll still be 80.
Vision. That's my vision. I was going to have an apartment down here on the south coast where I live. I was going to have an apartment in the UAE, and Trumpy's messed that right up. But I'm going to have a 45-year-old daughter. The other one's very independent, so she'll be off and probably living in, I don't know, Bali or something, shooting swordfish. But the other one will never leave home. So, yeah. Fun times, boys. Fun times.
Yeah. Exactly. And Jay, you good? How's business?
All good this end, mate. Thank you. Yeah.
April. So stacking those sales in?
Yeah. Great March and sales. Sun shining. Got an extra hour at night now. It's just a little bit lighter when we're doing stuff. So yeah, can't grumble.
So you can do another 4 valuations in the evening, Jay.
Exactly.
Fantastic. Just do that extra bit of work. We're taking those photographs. I'll tell you what, though, it makes a massive difference, doesn't it? When the sun's out, or just lighter in the mornings, lighter in the evenings, it makes just in people's moods in general as well. So,
cycling season's back. There you go.
I've got a mate that rides a bike. He's on this podcast, and you see his photos, his videos. He's the sun is shining.
Oh, it's lush. I can finish work and go and do 30 miles over Dartmoor. Like, there is nothing better rather than sat in a garage in the dark spinning. Monotonous. Yeah. However, I now play the guitar.
I've seen that. When you say you play a guitar, you're 3 days in?
Day 4. So yeah.
Day 4.
I'm a very addictive personality. So down in Cornwall, my nephew came down with his guitar. He was like strumming away of an evening like that, really chilled out. And my missus, we were at the bed. She's like, I know exactly what you're going to do. I was like, hold that thought. She's like, don't buy a guitar. Please don't buy a guitar. Like, this is the next thing, isn't it? After a bike, then you've got 5 of those in the garage. That night, she falls asleep. I'm
sounds like my wife,
it. I'm just an addictive personality, and I'm like, yeah.
Next morning he's Ed Sheeran.
Yeah, mate. I ordered the bag,
guitar,
the pick. I ordered a tune. I got a tuning out. I got the guitar. All arrived on Saturday when we got back from Cornwall, and started strumming away with my strings.
The harmonica was a bit of an excess, but
yeah, and the tambourine's like one of those monkeys.
Yeah. You see it down the town centre.
In seriousness, though, it's been really cool to switch off, because I think we're all guilty of sitting there doom scrolling, and I'm a nightmare for doom scrolling, or sitting there doing emails. And if I'm not doing that, I'm sat on the bike in the garage, and my thoughts are still going on about work, etc. When I pick the guitar up on this app, and this app's been brilliant, aptly named Simply Guitar, which that had me as Simply Guitar, to be fair. But I don't think of anything. I'm just like learning a Radiohead song or Sting, and you just switch off. Highly recommend it. We should all learn an instrument or a language. We're all lazy. There you go, people. Words of wisdom from Steve Green.
Bit of motivation there for
Simply guitar.
Simply guitar. Simply Steve, Simply Green, Simply guitar.
Simply moving on to the next fad.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What next? Might build a dry stone wall. Don't know.
I said that last year. I said it was my last year in my 40s, and I said I want to do a triathlon or something. So my wife Claire was like, "Really?" And I was like, "Yeah, I fancy it." And she's like, "What equipment do you need?" And I was like, "This, or it's all come wetsuit and all these other things."
You go for it then?
I did it last year. I did try last year.
I did it last year. Oh,
yeah.
Fair enough.
And as soon as I did it, I did it with my brother at Blenheim Palace, and I was like, I really struggled with the swim because I didn't put the effort in. Like any sport, if you don't put the practice in, golf in particular, you'll be absolutely shocking. And I wasn't shocking. I was just inept. I'm not a great swimmer. I'm a really good runner. And bikes, bikes are okay, aren't they? You can get away with it, I think, on a bike a little bit. Not the top, not you, Steve, because you obviously, it's nothing like going across the moors for 30 miles. And I'm thinking, well, there is. I could drive across the moors for 30 miles.
I've got a 210 miler in a day in June, which is coast to coast of Ireland, starting at Titanic Harbour. I'm supposed to be doing that, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, 210 miles, one day, 10,000 feet of climbing, sunrise to sunset. That'd be the third one I've done.
Have you done the one up my way, ever? Have you done the coast to coast up here, Steve?
No, I've done.
It finishes at Whitby and starts at.
It's Whitby to Ayr in Scotland.
This goes across, so it'll go. I'm gonna have to look now what it is.
You got Chase the Sun North, which is Whitley Bay to Ayr. I've done the south route, which is Isle of Sheppey and Kent to Weston-super-Mare. Italy is coast to coast, going through Pisa, finishing on the west coast. Yeah, west coast, and then Ireland. All happens on the same day. So yeah, this will be the third one I've done. But getting the training is hard. We've had a tough first quarter, haven't we, weather-wise? So
yeah, I was saying that with marathons. There's obviously marathon season at the moment. London Marathon's coming up. We're doing the half. Well, my wife's doing the half of this training with her at the moment. I haven't entered it myself yet, to be fair, down here in Plymouth. But I've got a few friends who are doing London. It's their first marathon as well, and I'm like, the day you'll be fine. You just got to put the effort in the training, but the training is a lot harder than the actual event. That's always the way because you trained for it. I remember when I did London many years ago. You basically you come around yourself. You're going up towards Buckingham Palace, and it changes from how many meters to how many yards, and you're like confused. You're like, how long's left? But you're running there. You're thinking this is the end, and then you're looking at your watch, thinking, you know what? I'm not saying it was easy, but it was pretty easy because you trained for it. And I was like, it was a bit like having your wedding, and the day after it was like, okay, well, that's a
St. Bees to Robin Hood's Bay.
Not in that way.
It's 192 miles.
Easier.
Jesus Christ!
I'm going to do Bristol to Newton Abbott in a couple of weeks.
It goes through 3 national parks. It's quite a nice one, apparently. It's Wainwright's coast to coast.
Ping it across, mate. I'll have a look at that. I'll pop up and see you. We'll have a beer.
Definitely.
What I think the problem is with road cycling as well, and obviously I've got a bike as well. I've been out a few times, but I just find the roads are so bad, like really bad.
Yeah, they are.
And
they are.
And you always get it's the same with runners as well. You get rude runners and you get rude cyclists as well. When you get the drivers are absolute nightmares, the majority of them on roads, because they've never actually ridden the bike themselves, so they don't understand this. I can't do anything about being in front of you. I'm allowed to do it, and there's a massive pothole there.
When I'm on the bike, I can tell the drivers that also cycle, and I can tell the drivers that don't and hate cyclists just by the way that they approach you, the way they rev behind you, their decision making with overtaking with oncoming cars. Like I was in Cornwall last week, and I grabbed the bike and went out, and I was out at 7 a.m. and I did Polesworth down to Weybridge. It was only 8 miles, but it's an A road, and I'll tell you now, I was nearly taken out 3 or 4 times in 8 miles. And I was like, I need to get to Weybridge as quickly as possible, jump on the old trail, and that takes you all the way along the estuary to
that's gorgeous.
Where's it say? Padstow. And it was stunning. That part of it was absolutely gorgeous. But it's definitely dicey out there. And then you're trying to avoid the potholes as well, which are shocking. But yeah, it is. You do take your life in your hands sometimes, definitely.
Yeah,
but the things we do for peace of mind, etc.
It's a release, mate, isn't it? It's a release, and it's guitars. Going to watch football, take children football. Usually, it's a release, and you need that to fill your cup up.
Yeah,
hopefully, talk about filling cups up. It won't be the Spurs trophy cabinet, of course, but I guess the big news with football, and especially with my club, is the Zerbi's in. Before I talk about what I think about that, what do you think about it, guys? I mean, obviously, Steve, you've got the Brighton thing.
I got the Brighton connection. I don't quite understand this kind of viewpoint on him. Like, I know United were after him. Obviously, Spurs have got him. There was rumours of Man City. Like, where's that come from in regards to him? Because, yeah, he did all right at Brighton, but then you could say that the guy now has done no better. He's done all right. They're sort of mid-table, slightly above, and now all of a sudden, like, everybody was after him. So I don't understand the passion for De Zerbi myself.
Right. What do you think, Jay?
Two things that strike me is what Brighton players come out and said about the first 2 weeks. It's carnage when he came in. He didn't win a game in 5. Didn't understand a word he was saying or what they wanted from it. And I get you've got Brighton squad and Tottenham squad are not the same, but they're professional footballers in the day, and they didn't win a game in 5 when he first took over from Potter at Brighton. And my only fear if you call it fear, because I don't support Tottenham, is that you haven't got 5 games to settle, have you? You need it to work instantly. You need that new manager bounce to do instantly. And I didn't realise that the negativity around him as a person because of his support for Mason Greenwood. And I think that's a real blow for Tottenham to bring in that. Is it, you probably know more about me than Chris, but is there a ladies fans advisory board or something that have boycotted saying they're not going to go to any Tottenham games or something on them lines? And I just said to Jai this morning, he said, "Oh, do you think it was to keep him up, Dad?" And I said to him this morning, I said, the thing is, mate, when you get a new manager in like that, you want everything. You don't want no negativity. You want it all to be right. We're all behind it now. Let's get a team bus. Let's get flares like Everton have done for years to keep Everton. Let's do this, let's do that. And to straight away, you've got negativity. And it doesn't gives you that feel good vibe. So it'd be really interesting what to do. But what a good time to do it when you've got your players back from international duty. You've got the FA Cup weekend, and then you've got a bit of time. So hopefully that 2-week craziness will be scrammed into 10 days and you can be back on track for them. But it's going to go to the wire.
Yeah. I mean, my viewpoint on it is I don't quite know what to feel about it. And that sounds really weird. But the Zerbi, for me, I think that he's a bit like Poch. I think in that sense, he's never actually won anything, and it sounds terrible because I've got a lot of time for Pochettino. Obviously, he's never actually won anything. He's got lots of admirers because the way he sets his teams up, etc. And front foot, Christmas tree formation, all these things, and the players who have worked with him in general, especially at the start, maybe not necessarily at the end, have all said, "Breath of fresh air. When you get it, you get it." But every one of his clubs, it has taken time to adapt, and that is over seven games. So I can see why he's been brought in. For me, it looks a bit like the Lang and Vinny had to do something in regards to making a statement because their jobs are on the line anyway. Yeah.
5-year deal.
What's that really worth? I mean, nowadays, guys, these managers, it's not like there's a massive disparity. They are making millions of pounds. He's the third highest Premier League manager. We're actually paying him for the second one, which I think was Frank anyway. We're still paying that off. So
but
I don't know.
What's his? We were chatting before we came in here about desire and ability to earn money and to deliver results. What's and I'm not being disrespectful, but where's his goal? Where's his drive? He's got, if they sack him because you go down, all right, see you later.
They won't.
It's just, but what I'm saying though, Chris, is I'd have loved to.
Will he stay?
Gone, I'll do it. I want a contract for 7 games. And if you read, which is obviously only paper talk, but if you read what they're saying, is that he will get I joked about the amount of money with you two, but the amount of money he gets for a stay-up bonus, a non-relegation bonus, is ridiculous. And apparently that's in for every year of his contract.
Yeah, but that's nothing to do with him. I mean, ultimately, it's a drop in the ocean from what they're going to lose. And we all know dropping down the Championship, regardless of the squad you've got or the
I just think what I'm trying to say is I think the better players don't care if they get relegated or not, with no disrespect, because they'll go to different clubs. The manager, if we get relegated, you don't want me anymore. Fair enough. Got a 5-year contract. See you later. You've paid me for 2 months and 5-year contract. I just think it's a crazy an industry lucrative of that. I'd love to see someone. I know they were joking about your Tim Sherwoods and your what's his name, the left back Ben Davies being a player manager.
I'd love to have
seen someone with a bit of passion and said, I only want it for 7 games. I want to keep this team up. I want to keep this. Let's get into it. But they're already saying that that Romero shouldn't be captain and he's got to go, and so's Van der Ven or his name. So you then go, well, hang on a second. It's all right you saying you want them gone, but who are you going to replace them with?
Who's saying that though?
The fans are saying that they've got to go. They're not playing for the managers and this, that, and the other, and discipline. And it's, I think see you've got to put yourself in Tottenham things, fans, and I think you've got to be really careful what you wish for.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think I can see why it's a long contract. Ultimately, maybe the fact that they brought someone in for X amount of games to the end of the season, nobody had respect for him. Oh well, you're going to be gone anyway. After this season, there's no stability there, that kind of thing. I get it. They should have brought obviously someone in there regards to the Ben Davies as a backup coach, because he's got the ability he knows the squad, he knows the players, and he can ruffle a few feathers. He's got all his coaching badges, and somebody else, and then Spurs legends for that time period. But after that, they have to have a commitment for after that, because they want some players, not all of them, but some players to stay there next season, regardless if we dropped or not.
Yeah. And the biggest question for me, Chris, to ask you as a fan is, why did you not get him when he was available when Frank's gone?
When Frank was there, he was at the end of his Marseille thing. He didn't want to come out apparently, but he was available for Tudor when Tudor was brought in. So, and they talked to him. They just didn't. They made the wrong choice, didn't they? Ultimately, they've messed up.
Is he any better than Thomas Frank? Because I put him like there's bars, isn't there? You got Pep, you got Ferguson, you got Wenger. You know, where does the Zerbi sit? I would say he sits in that kind of Thomas Frank kind of mould, like that sort of.
I'd say it sits below Thomas Frank mould at the moment. But the only thing you can hope for is the new manager bounce. You get 7 points in the next 3 games. It's a very big difference to where they are now.
Yeah, but he's on a win-win, isn't he? If he goes down, and he gets sacked, he gets paid up his 5-year contract. If he stays, then they're going to give him investment, and he carries on. So he's got nothing to lose. Like, no wonder he sat there smiling in his clumsy kind of interview. You know, he's loving life. It was clumsy. It was weird.
Yeah. He's not a. It feels like a little bit rub it in the headlights a little bit. I thought, but I think Frank. The different types of managers for a start. They've got different philosophies. So Frank is more pragmatic. He didn't adapt to what we thought he would do. He changed a few things, but then he went back as his own Brentford ways. So we were basically Brentford 2.0. But of course,
you're going to be, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly. It's not a surprise, is it? It's not.
It's like you're going to be Brighton. You're going to be Marseille. They've all got their styles, and they don't like to deviate from Plan A.
The problem is,
if you were at Brentford Mark II, they did well at Brentford. Do you know what I mean? If you were at Brentford Mark II, you'd have been buzzing. I mean, if you become a Brighton, if you become a Marseille, you become. It's
maybe that's players' attitudes. Then maybe the players at Brentford, were better attitudes.
Hard-working team players
bought into it. Yeah, bought into that's. Yeah. It takes time to get your squad, doesn't it? In one window, we said that about Moyes. One window, we're overachieving now. In that one window, we shouldn't be doing what we're doing. It should be. It's going to take him a summer. We'll have 5 or 6 leave, and as your teams will, and you get in different players and. You shape that squad. That's where the change around a manager is so hard. Every 3 months to change a manager, you're always inheriting someone else's squad.
Definitely. I think the main problem we've got now is that we've got players who were more suited to Frank's setup and not to Zerbi's. So he's going to have to work with what he's got because there's no other alternative. We have got players coming back, and Kudos coming back, fingers crossed, touch wood, is a great thing for us because he will play well in his system, but we definitely need a player maybe like Maddison to come back. It's not going to happen.
Trouble is, you need them match fit and ready. They haven't got 3 or 4 games to get back into playing football from a long-term injury, have they? They've got to hit the ground running. So you just got to hope that they're match fit. They're not going to break, in the first game with the same injury because they're pushing themselves too much. It's going to be close, isn't it? Like a lot of the pundits out there, though. A lot of the pundits are going, "That's it, Spurs are safe." I was listening to Talksport, I think the other day.
I don't know where they get it from. Like I always say, it's the hope that kills you. And suddenly you've got a new person. We're the same team. We've still got the same issues until they're resolved.
Was it Darren Bent? It might have been Darren Bent on Talksport. I can't remember, but they were like adamant.
He's so Arsenal. He's
weird, isn't it? It's weird to hear him be so anti-Spurs when he was playing there as a striker. I'd be peed right off if that was like Clint. I am
every time. And that's one of my favourite shows. The afternoon one though. But on Talksport. But I just when he goes, I get yourself being a fan. If I played for Man United and then was actually a Spurs fan, then I'll always be biased for Spurs. But you have some loyalty to the clubs you played for as well, not to chastise them. But I guess that's what happens when you go in the media. You have to have a voice and an opinion, don't you? So
Mike Keown's the funniest. So pro Arsenal.
Blinkered. The boy is blinkered.
Hate him. He's horrible.
Hilarious. I can't.
He slags off Everton, something chronic, and I hate him because
even though he
played there before.
Yeah, he did.
He played there before he went to Arsenal. Martin Keown, hate him commentating on games.
But you get that as well. I mean, you can't have Gary Neville, massive. He's a massive idiot, isn't he?
Can't stick him either. I love Roy Keane. Hate him as a player. Absolutely love Roy Keane as a pundit. I think he's fantastic. It's so funny. But anyway, no, it'd be interesting with the Zerbi, mate. I can't make my mind up. I don't know.
Me neither. Well, the proof's in the pudding at the end of the day, but I think that we've got a massive hill to climb. Yes, all we have to do is match West Ham or better West Ham's results in theory. Yeah. But they are going to be playing, like we said before in a recent podcast, they're playing before us in the next match, they're playing on a Friday night, so they could be above us anyway. So the pressure comes on for Sunderland away.
Who've they got? Who've West Ham got?
Wolves.
Do you know?
Wolves.
Wolves. At home.
And West Ham are at home. West Ham are at home.
I think you could see Wolves nicking that 1-0, couldn't you? You could see that. You could.
No. And honestly, I don't want to scare Chris, but I can't. But that's next week's podcast. But
mate, you won't be scaring me, mate. You won't be scaring me. End of the day, I'm a pragmatist because I'm not going to say we're going to be fine.
I can't call those games.
Really,
I can't call one of those games. I can't call the Sunderland Spurs game or the West Ham Wolves.
It's made it interesting, hasn't it? It's made it interesting. That's
because of De Zerbi's appointment, that's what's made me now go, I can't call it because I can't make my mind up with him. I don't know whether he's going to go in and, do fantastic and you're going to stay up by considerable amount of points.
It sounds like it's definitely the last further dice for those, the sporting directors and whoever as well, because as you read, there's lots of stuff going on behind the scenes, even Levy threatening to sue Lewis Foundation as well. Talks of Amanda Staveley buying his share in ENIC, which would be interesting as well. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or bad thing, to be honest.
I just think for that.
She's not. Is she a football person? She's a business person, isn't she? So,
if you stay up though, you're gonna have to go through a massive transfer. There's a lot of those players that need to go. Wrong attitudes.
But he would have got that assurance that if we stay up, here's the budget, and I will get these players. And he is a draw, I think, because he is attractive. However, that's happened.
Yeah.
He's
Adam Lallana, he came out of the press this week, didn't he? And he absolutely loved him. He said he was the best manager on the side. It was
well over the top. He's like, I'm really jealous. Really jealous about these players, what they've got coming up. But even he said it as well. It took a long time to establish what he wanted because he was or is. He asks a few different questions of players, and some players are naturally gifted, but they're thick as two short planks, like anybody in life, and they won't get it. So that would be quite interesting.
Will it be the biggest shock relegation in Premier League history?
Yep.
Over Aston Villa, who've won more European trophies?
Yep.
Yeah, see, I think that, and some people are coming out this week saying I think Villa, when they went down, was more of a shock because of how much trophies.
Newcastle, Villa, Forest, to be fair, in the day, obviously they won a lot of trophies back in the day. There were teams
European
that should
champions.
be in the Premier League, but for Tottenham to go down, the only thing I think we've overlooked is that you were down there last season. That doesn't get spoke about enough with us. There was us. Palace weren't as low then, to be fair, but Tottenham, Everton, Forest,
12th again.
There was people, and you were down there last year, Chris, but that doesn't seem, so it's not a new thing. It's just the other teams have been relegated already, and it's not like that this year.
Well, I said it last season on a different podcast that we were basically, it was just paper over cracks. That's all it was, the cup run. And great, we might get something out of it. And we should have, because we were better than the other teams in it. As all English teams are, as we said before, if you're in Europe, apart from the Champions League, then you should be winning those competitions, in my opinion, because we've got better players.
I'll tell you next year.
If Ipswich weren't as bad as they were and the other team who went down weren't as bad as they were, you would have gone down. Definitely. Yeah. If that had been this season, you'd be gone. But
yeah, that's every season, though, isn't it? So we'll see. We'll see. The jury's out, but it'll be interesting to see what the initial feedback is from it. I personally would like him to not adapt to his philosophy to the players he's got. I would even put in some players who are on the fringes. We've got really good academy players who can do a job, but certainly for a little bit of time. I personally would put some. Mate, you're not going to play, as we saw with Tudor, putting players, or even England, which we'll talk about a little bit later, putting players on the right-hand side when they've never actually played there. That shouldn't happen. Players should play in their right positions.
And up front today, we have Romero and Mickey van der Ven.
Wow.
Welcome back, Gary Lineker.
Playing left back.
Gary Babbitt.
I was expecting us to get relegated and new signing, Dele Alli.
Gareth.
He's been training for 3 years for this
match day captain today is Ledley King.
Aussie Ardiles.
Welcome back, Soul Camp. Oh no. Okay.
Oh, let's talk about England. Let's talk about that rubbish. God.
Right. Let's move on to a bit of property chat, guys, because we're going to make it a shorter bit today as well. We've all got busy days ahead. A few things I picked up in the league news here as well, which is quite interesting. Negotiator putting out that agents could win £1.5 billion payout from legal action against Rightmove.
Can I get any of that?
Please.
I mean, I've only paid 3 months subscription. Can I get any of that?
Yeah, but that, mate, it'd be fine. Basically, the actions.
Get in the queue.
Yeah. Rightmove has been charged because they have been charging estate agents excessive and unfair subscription fees, which you can't argue about. I mean, the longer
if it just brings it down ongoing, I'll take that. It just makes it more sensible. I'll take that.
I think the problem with anything like this, I'm not just saying to go Rightmove because obviously other portals are available and other subscription models are available as well. But what I always found is, especially when in the days of newspaper industry as well, there's always different rates going on. There wasn't one flat rate, and everybody paid the same stuff. And I still feel that's happening because they have different models. Where tell me if I'm wrong, where if you pay extra money, you get all this other stuff involved as well. But you can't drop down. It's an interesting product, isn't it? Interesting.
They've got the monopoly. They've got the monopoly, so they can charge what they want because consumer goes to Rightmove over the other two, and. Until you change the consumer mindset, it's not going to change.
No,
it's not. So, do I look at it and go, yeah, 30 grand, that's it, bosh, done. Does it bring more than 30 grand to my business? Yes, it probably does. If I'm honest, it does. As much as I don't like paying 2.5 grand a month compared to 400 quid. Yeah. The problem I've got is that they need us. They need us, and they haven't evolved in 20 years of going. That's my problem. But what do you want it to do? You want it to give you leads. And in the States, apparently, they charge you per lead. That can be like 200 quid per lead rather than a set fee each month. I just don't like the fact they walk in June and they go, right, it's going up 15%. What are you going to do about it? I can't put my stuff up 15%. That's
the crux of the claim, I think. I think that the Competitions Tribunal have, there's a former panel member who's actually brought it to the action. Filing this claim today advances the route to meaningful compensation for those businesses who have had very little choice but to absorb excessive fee increases for many years. And yeah, I think that's absolutely right. They come in there, you understand it in some sense. If you have pressures regards to fuel, business rates, all these other things, and it affects everybody, and you have to put fees up, and this is why you're not going to put it up massively. You can't do that. You've got monopoly. That's the problem.
Everything's gone up. Like you three, us three have talked about it. Like national insurance has gone up, minimum wage has gone up, Rightmove's gone up. Business rates have gone up, electric's gone up. Everything's gone up in running an estate agency business, and our fees aren't going up in the same degree. We're not going out and getting 2%. There's just no way I better get 2%. So us as a business done really well in the first quarter in listings. We're beating my biggest competitor. First time in 5 years. They normally do double the amount of listings as me. Double the amount of sales. But for the first quarter this year, we're number one by about 20 in listings. I know exactly what they're going to do, and they've already started doing it. They started slashing their fees down to 1%. Well, that's what agents do. Like we should be putting our fees up because everything's going up.
They don't win stuff on service; they win it on fee.
Yeah, exactly. So you got to sell double the amount to earn exactly the same as what you would have got if you were charging 1.25, 1.5. Like
crazy.
But that's how stupid estate agents are, because they're thinking with their Rightmove pie chart head, which is the thing that they hate paying for. Yet they publicise. It's just bonkers, and we'll never ever
running your own track, haven't you? You've got to work out what you need to run your business, running your own track. It's great to be up there and to compare yourself against others to make sure you're not being left behind. But you've got to think about, like what I do at the moment. We had a chat before. I've got to think about what I need this month, and I've set myself my little targets, and I've got to go after that and see what I can do.
Yeah. Agents just charge more for their service. We're the only industry that doesn't really, a lot of us, get anything up front, and then you got to wait 6 months to be paid on it. Like, Jesus Christ, the solicitor puts their fees up and says, well, I'm now 375 plus VAT an hour. The client's going to pay it. They're going to pay it. So why aren't we getting 1.5, 1.65? It's taking longer now. Sorry, the outgoings are still the outgoings. I've got to charge this because everything's gone up, including the Rightmove thing.
The annoying thing is that if you're missing out on those instructions and you're halving your fee to get those instructions, then you have to get double instructions, but they're not there. Double the market is not there for them to be able to simply get. And it's often because actually there's another agent doing something better. Or there's a person in there who's actually on fire. You go through purple patches, don't you, as agents as well, because you need sometimes you go through a period, you're like, oh god, I don't know what's the matter with me, I just haven't got the listing, and I've lost that one, and you have to have a look at yourself. We've had this discussion before, and actually have a refresh and think, actually, what am I doing right and wrong, or what are other people doing, which is you have to continually adapt. If you're adapting as a business by staying the same, which it seems that a lot of agents do that, and then doing some kind of deal, or we're going to drop our fees to so and so just to catch up again, then you're never going to get any better in a market where transaction levels are less, taking more time. I would imagine that although there's lots of properties which have come on, and you guys obviously worry of that anyway, I would imagine that I think there was a stat year on year in January that actually completions were down by 3% year on year, and I imagine that might be down a little bit in February, March as well, just because there's a bit of what's happening in the world, and that stuff you can't control is out of your control as well, isn't it? So, but fundamentally, you just got to stick to your morals and what your business model is, and not adapt too much like that. It's a difficult time, isn't it? It's a difficult time. But Rightmove, I don't know what agents don't like paying. Well, you'll pay for something if you see value for it, regardless.
Correct. Bang on. Yeah. If they said to me,
like you said, Steve, what's developed with it? We're just paying more for the same product.
70% profit they make. 70%.
76% if you read by the news.
Was it?
They actually put it in the layman's terms, i.e. to me, 76p in every pound is profit. And I'm like, wow, that's a lot of money.
It's crazy. Like
Portal Police.
Come to get you. Is that the Rightmove?
Rightmove Police.
Rightmove Police.
These guys are good.
Exactly. What did you say about us?
I did. I nearly turned into my dad then. I made a dad joke about that, but I'm going to try and do it.
Oh, they turn around. Come back.
That's actually me.
Oh, please.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
My dad would look up and he was a bit cold pan, dead face. My dad would look up and he would just go to me, "They ain't going to sell any ice creams going that fast, Jamie." And that's what stuck with me since I was a kid. And Jai says, "Don't say it, don't say it." And I'm like, oh, can't help myself. I'm not going to sell any ice creams going that fast.
Was there like a tumbleweed going after that, or was it like a full-on?
Dad joke.
Well, you have to be there. Very good.
Anyway, we'll see what happens. But yeah, people will pay for value, and their business is no different to your business. If public will see that you're gonna give a better service, be generally worth your weight in gold. Actually, this person, I want you to sell my property. You're the person who sell my property. They're going to pay you more money.
Mm-hmm.
But you've got to be competitive, haven't you, as well? A balance, I guess, really. All right, that's enough of let's move on to England team before we finish up. Who's for the England matches? Team.
Lost you.
Right. Can you hear me now?
There you go. You're back. You're back now.
Right.
Yeah, you're back. You're a bit
You're using those stupid sound effects, mate. That's why. But I didn't want to say anything out loud.
My brother is. England team. What did you think about it?
James
didn't
Garner,
watch.
fantastic. Jordan Pickford, God, move on.
I didn't watch either game.
Nah, to be fair.
Didn't watch either game.
I think it's commentator led again a little bit. That ain't his team. We all know that. He has a short window to try and pick a team from, a squad from it. A lot of them players around were players that he was still looking at, which I get that. It's like for me, we got a little bit waxed lyrical about it, but that was like a pre-season friendly in what your team plays.
It meant nothing. It meant nothing. It was there just
to see what it was. Just some comments that are led by the commentators, which gives you a clue, is they basically said Elliot Anderson is starting in that team. If he's not injured, he'll start in that team. I disagree with that. He was great at the start of the season, but he was all right. But I know I've got blue tinted glasses on, but James Garner played first game, got man of the match. He was so good moving us through the lines, and just you could. Today I said to you, Steve, I think I was talking to you maybe on here or something else about O'Reilly playing left back. Yeah, it might have been you I was talking to. He played left back, and you could see he went into his Man City role as like you could see it. I watched him; he just drifted into the middle of midfield, and then sort of like went back out towards the left wing, and the ball didn't come, and you could just see him like that.
Yeah, they were. I think Tuchel said, especially second match, it was massively narrow. Yeah.
I don't normally get this. You could just tell that when he goes forward for Man City out of that left back role into midfield, then onto the left wing, then left up front like a zigzag. You could just see on that England thing, he was like,
"Who's with me?"
It's a typical pre-World Cup game. It's typical, but this happens every single pre-World Cup. We always get these kind of games, the boring kind of like not the proper first 11. I'm
going to say it now boring. Though. Picking our centre halves is going to be the hardest thing because your boy was captain of England.
Not anymore.
Marcus
Gay. He's dead to me now.
Captain of England. He looks good, but picking a second centre half at the moment, Slabhead played well.
I'd put him in it.
It's hard.
Oh, would you?
I'd love to see John Stones. He released him from the camp, so obviously, clearly, he's not in the World Cup thoughts, I'd say, at the moment. But
I like John Stones. I would think, but I think Maguire is he's great in the air. And I think Gay is your number one.
And I'm not buying this. Reece James should start a right back. Are you not buying that?
No, because he'll get injured in the first 5 minutes and he'll be out.
He'll be injured.
They're saying that he's the first choice right back.
But any previous England team, especially in tournaments, you've got to go in there with almost a steady back four, haven't you? You change around the midfield, maybe strikers. You steady back four, and I just think he hasn't got the.
I still can't believe they don't pick Gerald Braithwaite in that centre half, even to have a being a half on them games because he's different level. And I
would have.
I just can't. Yeah, I know he's come back from injury, but
if you're going to use it to look at players, then why not look at players like him in particular? And I think that there were a few things that came from it. We are going to struggle. Yeah, what was the? Let's not go there.
The problem is, I think you said it before, Chris, about the number 10 role. Is there's nobody that stands.
Bellingham's going to be that.
Yeah, but there's nobody in that team that's you'd want it to be where you're on the last 10 games of the season and him, you can't not pick him. But at the moment, you go, I could put Foden in there, I could put Rodgers in there, I could put him in there, I could put him in there. There's no one at the moment. I think that team is crying out for these last 10 Premier League games, 7 Premier League games, someone to really go, oh my God, you can't not have him in there because he's the one. At the moment, I would say they're all good players, but there's nobody that's screaming out as being the first choice to be in there.
In number 10, yeah. I think you're right.
Or any position, mate, to be honest. Any position, apart from...
Kane.
Yeah, but again, it shows the lack of what we haven't got when he's not there.
Oh,
if you were willing to play second fiddle to Harry Kane with England, you're going to. He's played in the team. Not one of them forwards, really. Honest, Dominic Solanke, if I was honest, out of it all, he looked like Dom played all right in the first game, Dominic Solanke. That the second game, we set up without a centre forward.
I think it's a bit like you got your superstars who are that level, like 10s or 9s, etc. And then your reserves for them is a 6 and 7 on a good day. And that's the difference. That gap is massively noticeable, isn't it? Really
yeah, but who is your superstar? We didn't see Bellingham. Bellingham was apparently injured again or carrying knock. So
no, Bellingham is going to. I think Bellingham's going to be number 10, in my opinion. I think Foden's blown it.
Yeah, I'd agree. You can't leave Bellingham out. You might have an attitude and all the rest of it. You can't leave him out. You have to play. You have to, I think. Kane and him and Pickford are the 3 names on the sheet every day.
Think Palmer is, in my opinion, I'm a massive fan of Palmer, to be honest. I think I would take Palmer anyway, definitely.
Chris, if you watched it, fucking awful.
Yeah. It is. But he's better than Foden, if it's out of those two.
I didn't think in them England he was better. And that's what I'm saying. There's no one that I'd have gone, wow, he has to play, apart from Jay.
I think Eze's above those two at the moment, to be honest, over Foden and Cole Palmer.
I know he was gutted he was injured, wasn't he? He said, I'm gutted that he's injured and bits and pieces. But there again, 6 weeks ago, he wasn't getting in the Arsenal team. So you're like, oh, Christ.
Exactly. But he's won the FA Cup, 12th again, who gives up?
Let's see what else he wins this year. I'd love that. Imagine that moving to Arsenal to win something and doesn't win anything. That'd be amazing.
He's not winning the Conference League though, is he? Come on.
Exactly. Well, and that's going to be interesting as we're coming up as well. Obviously, the Champions League matches as well. So we'll see what happens there. Anyway, short episode this week, guys. Obviously, football related. We shall convene next week, and I'll keep an eye on how Zerbi is getting on and what the backlash is, because obviously you've got international players coming back now as well. FA Cup matches this weekend, which we won't go into because all our teams are out of it, but that'd be interesting to see who wins those as well. We'll have a refresh on that as well.
Mickey Mouse Cup, don't worry about it.
100%. dead to me, like Eze and Gay and. Next season, any other player which leaves you.
Mateta. He's still there and he's dead to me. Rat.
Nice one. Well, guys, that's it. Let's wrap this one up. Thanks for listening to Property Premier League, everybody. I've been your host, Chris Mervyn, ably assisted by Jamie Aspand and Steve Green. We'll be back next week with more insights and debates from the world of property and the beautiful game. They think it's all over. Well, you know the rest.